Hello, everybody, and welcome to a quick update on HIMS. And really, the topic of this video is the marketing machine that HIMS and Hers, the company, is. Of course, we've discussed on this channel what they did for the HIMS branch of the business with the hard mints and the launch of that product. And they recently did the same thing with women again, and with their line of hair products for women. And this is an example of the type of product that they're releasing in order to promote growth of hair for women. Again, the marketing, in my view, is excellent. It's really resonating with millennials. It's worth noting that they partnered with a TikToker named Tinks, who has 1.5 million followers, and of course that's the modern way of promoting anything to Gen Z. That's just how it works, and that's why I'm calling him a marketing machine. You know, they really understand their consumer, who they're after, and I don't think that's the case of a lot of their competition. I already played with the competition on this channel, showing you how the competition does it, but you know, it's funny that it's about, you know, walking into a pharmacy and getting a prescription. A little better is, you would say, go with an even so-called HIMS competitor, right? This is Roman's product for hair loss, and frankly, the HIMS competitor kind of looks like Legacy. Frankly, to me, it looks like another prescription. HIMS is really going all in to make the product accessible, to make the product approachable. Really, it's a consumer healthcare company. That's what they keep saying in the calls. You know, we're not a compounding pharmacy, or we're not your standard healthcare company. We are a consumer brand that sells healthcare goods, and of course this healthcare is behind a prescription wall, and you have to see the doctor and you have to use the app, but it is nonetheless that brand that is trying to launch something that has not been done before, which is a consumer brand of healthcare. That has not been done before, and we still have this talk, for example, about generics, and do you buy the brand, do you buy the generic? And so let me just ask you a question. Do you see the typical follower, the Gen Z follower, or even Gen Z themselves? You see a Gen Z walking into a pharmacy at Costco and be like, hey, Costco, I'm looking for my monodixil, or I'm looking for my spironolactone at Costco. No, I don't think it's the modern way to buy drugs. I really don't. And because of that, this is a company that's at the edge of innovation in its field. And if you go back to their stores, to the app stores, of course, the Apple Store is a little more transparent, shows ranking a little better than Google. So we're using the Apple Store as a proxy for ranking HIMS in general in the mind share of people around here in the US. You can see that the HIMS app is number 16 on the App Store. Of course, none of the HIMS competitors are to be seen, direct competitors, right? Like Roman, for example, would be an example of a solid competitor of HIMS. Nowhere to be seen in these rankings, actually way behind. And when you go to the App Store and you actually go through it, you realize that most of these apps are mandatory, right? United Healthcare, right? The biggest healthcare company in the US. Well, if you're with United Health, your employer is using United Health, you have no choice but to use their app, right? Same for Quest Diagnostics. Same for MyChart. MyChart is the number one app because it's all of the insurance in the US use this company. So it's kind of a... Most of these apps, the top of these apps, are not optional, right? They're not people actually optionally trying to opt into it. They're just, it's your insurance. You don't have a choice. You have to have the app. You have to use the app of your insurance. It's noteworthy that HIMS is not like that. HIMS is what I would like to call here a voluntary app. You don't have to use HIMS. Kudos to GoodRx, by the way, which is a stock that I have yet to analyze. GoodRx is also what I would call a voluntary app, and they're number 3, which is very interesting. But HIMS is one of these free apps, voluntary apps that you have in there, not like, you know, United Health, or you have to use the app because because my company uses the app. It's kind of like comparing a SoFi or a fully neobank to like your national bank's app. One of them has organic growth. The other one does not have organic growth. It's about just transferring your customers to using the app, your already existing customers. And customers are sticky, which is actually a good transition to what else I have to say about marketing and the stickiness of consumers and why it makes sense to spend on marketing. Let me just quickly address this. I don't think I've addressed it enough in my prior videos about the reviews. The bear case for HIMS, that's what you hear a lot. I'm working on full video on HIMS. What you hear a lot about the bear case for HIMS is that, the reviews are terrible. And, well, first of all, when you just look at the numbers, it's a 4.7 for hers and a 4.8 out of 5 for HIMS. So that's not that terrible. In my view, that's actually really, really high. But then I think one of the reasons why people get fearful and say, the reviews are terrible, is because most of these app reviews are what they call featured app, i.e. it's the AI that's going to select a whole array of apps, and the AI is going to go out of its way to show you a bad review. It's not always going to show you the latest reviews, right? And these apps have thousands of reviews. If you were to just scroll through the latest reviews, the most common review, the mode, would be a 5-star with no text. That's the mode of all of these apps, right? If you like an app, do you like this app? Click 5-star, and then you go on with your life and you don't write anything. That would be the mode, and of course there's nothing to read when you do that. And that's why if you look at all the featured reviews, I don't want to say that they're not important. There are some complaints and they need to work on it, but some of them are very idiosyncratic. Like, for example, the app crashes and the app eats up or makes my phone heat up. Well, if you're gonna be having an appointment with a doctor on a video chatting app, you're gonna have crashes. Not all people have the latest version of the phone. That's an okay complaint. I'm not upset about that for HIMS. I don't think it has anything to do with HIMS. Other complaints that they have is things like can't cancel. Now this is somewhat problematic, right? Whenever this comes up, you want customers to be able to cancel normally. Now, when I think about can't cancel, why is it? Is it because the product has been already shipped and has already been processed, and you can't really cancel when your product is on your way to your house? In that case, not too much of a HIMS fault. Or is it HIMS ignoring you and forcing you to get the product even though you don't want it anymore? In that case, I would argue that's a little problematic for HIMS, and they definitely need to work on that. And then the wait time to see a physician, and that's another common complaint. And we do know that they're working on that. They're actively recruiting physicians, right? This is a two-sided platform. When you prescribe, you need to have a lot of physicians, and of course, we live in a society of buy now, get it today, get it by 5 p.m. on Amazon. That's the society we live in. When you deal with physicians, you need with real doctors that have real schedules, and obviously that's something they have to work on, and they will work on it more and more and more, because the more people you have on a platform, right? It's a two-sided platform in a way, HIMS. The more people you have on the platform, the more physicians will sign up to that platform in order to do consultation. So this is a growing pain, I would argue, that will resolve with time. And you also have quite a bit of idiosyncratic complaints. So, for example, one of the reviews I saw was someone complaining because the HIMS app, you could only select one gender, and they had like a different gender. Anyways, that was idiosyncratic. You really can't read into that, and you're always going to have very, very odd reviews, like 1-star reviews. Some of them are always going to be very odd. Others are going to be relevant. So those two are relevant. HIMS is working on it. Let me move on to the sales though. Sales don't lie. The sales of HIMS are absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. They keep growing really fast. I've highlighted that in all my videos. 87% growth year over year for Q1. And one more update that I'm going to tell you about the HIMS sales is the multi-month subscribers. And this is essential to HIMS to try to get subscribers to prepay or pre-commit to multiple months. Why do they try to have as many multi-month subscribers as possible? Because because many of the products that they sell, you start to see a result after, say, 6 months or after 3 months, right? Like hair loss, your hair is not going to regrow in a month. You're going to have to wait a few months. And that's why Hims does its best to try to get customers to commit to the treatment for multiple months so that they actually see the results and keep using the products. Because we live in a world of short attention span. You use the spray once on your hair doesn't regrow, you call it a scam, and you go ahead and you go cancel because you call it a scam. That's the issue of pharmacy products and drugs. They take a while to work, and this is increasing patient adherence, and it's heading in the right direction. You can see 4 quarters ago they only had 68% of multi-month. Now they're up at 75% multi-month. So I calculated that. Very highly positive stuff. So now that I've done these few updates, let me get down to the meat of the video, which is the marketing. Talking about the marketing spend, because they clearly spend a lot on marketing, right? This is expensive marketing. The websites, the apps, that's all marketing. They spend a lot on marketing. So let's just quickly go through the numbers on marketing. Marketing spend last quarter alone, they spent 97 million. Now keep in mind, about 95% of the sales of Hims are recurring. So most of these sales are recurring. That means that by spending 97 million, and I'm really taking shortcuts here, with the extra 97 million, assuming you associate all of that growth to the spend, you've earned an additional 24 million for the quarter, which equals to 96 million extra revenue a year. So you've spent 97 million and you're earning 96 million extra for that year, right? And if they do the same thing next year, that will be for the next 12 months, probably about the same, right? So let's call it, you spend $1 on marketing, you get $1 on revenue. The problem is that revenue is recurring. That revenue, it's all about how long do you think that revenue is going to last? Do you think that revenue is going to last 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or much longer than that, right? Ask yourself, banks spend crazy amounts of money to get people to sign up to their credit cards or get people to sign up to their bank accounts. That's because they know once you sign up for a bank account, you're going to say 6, 7, 8 years. They really don't mind, right? They don't mind spending that money because they know that they're keeping you for the very long run. So let's just assume we've spent 97 million in marketing, and over a 3-year period that would yield 267 million in revenue, which means that you're getting 200 million in gross profit in 3 years, right? And the gross profit is 75%. So your break even is on marketing spend. Your break-even on marketing spend is 492 days. You're getting that gross profit back in 492 days. And as a return on spend, that's 75% return on spend, on marketing spend. So every dollar they spent, they get 74 cents back. That's your 74% return on spend. To me, this is absolutely excellent for a company that has recurring revenue. And what matters is customer retention. And Hims, in the latest quarter, they tell us their customer retention is 85+% after 2 years customer retention, 85%, which is really high. So they will be making money on this marketing spend. It's not like you're spending a bunch of money to have a one-time sale. For example, auto companies tend to do marketing wrong. Like I remember reading something like a Lexus. It's in the thousands of dollars. I'm not so sure. I think it's like something like $7,000 of marketing spend to sell one $50,000 Lexus. See, that's a bad deal because people are not going to be buying that Lexus every year, right? That's a bad deal. In the case of Hims, it's a good deal because people are going to be buying the products every year, assuming those treatments work, right? So calculating return on marketing spend is complicated. I'll just say it like that. There's a whole field of marketing, science of marketing about how you do it. It's very hard to know marketing spend. What's happening though is that if you're a traditional analyst, you're not going to view marketing spend as a good thing. You're going to say that this is a cost. You're not going to see it as an investment. What you're going to say when you look at Hims is, they only received 74 cents back in gross profit for each dollar that they spent on marketing, and you're not going to see the long term because your time horizon's too short because you're seeing 12 months ahead. You're not seeing 5 years ahead. So the marketing spend is important, but the payoff may be more than a year away. The payoff, maybe 500 days away, just like I said. And the problem is that we don't have much of a look back for HIMSS because HIMSS is only a 5 years old company. It's a young company. And so management actually has expressed, Yemi in the latest healthcare conference calls, he has told us that they have tons of customers that still have their original subscriptions. And so if you were one of the very first customers of HIMSS, you've only been there 5 years. You've only kept your subscription for 5 years because the company is only 5 years old. So what's the average length of time for a subscription to a drug going to be? This is going to be a key question to ask ourselves when we look at this company. And my guess is that it's going to be much longer than 2 years. It looks like they've reached a lot of critical mass about 2 years ago, and now they're telling us we're at 85% retention for 2 years is what they're telling us. But my guess is that those numbers are going to stay high. They may stay around the 80% retention rate, which then would justify amazing spend, right? If you have customers that stay with you for 10 plus years, I mean, ask yourself, how long have you been banking with your bank? How long have you had that credit card? How long have you had your cell phone subscription or your internet subscription at home, right? It can get in the decades easily. And that's why I believe marketing spend for HIMSS is a wonderful thing, and I don't want them to stop spending on marketing because I have a long-term horizon. This is a stock that I'm owning for the next 10 years or more. So I hope this alleviates some of people's concerns on marketing, but this is not investment advice. This is just entertainment. So if you're thinking 12 months out and you hate marketing, this stock would not be for you. Either way, not investment advice. Appreciate your likes, appreciate your subscribes. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.